Hi, my name is Rachel S. here from Cumming, Georgia. I'm a single mom to 2 kids here. And just in 3.5 years, my child tax credit has decreased by 80% almost.
Good what? Excuse me?
Her child tax credit.
Okay.
So what I want you guys to really pay attention to here is clearly you can listen to the waviness in this woman's voice here from the crowd. Clearly she's nervous, and who wouldn't be? I think public speaking is probably one of the top most scary things that most people have to endure in their lives. In fact, I think a lot of people actually find public speaking scarier than, snakes or fear of heights. But anyway, watch how Donald Trump basically reacts to this poor woman who is in the crowd here, who is clearly dealing with the effects of a battered economy and very high inflation. Watch how Donald Trump supports this woman who is ultimately having a panic attack. Take a listen.
It's decreased by 80%.
That's
Sorry, my child tax credit has decreased by almost 80%. Daycare for the lowest amount is roughly $1,400 a month for one child here.
yeah.
Last year I broke my neck. I almost lost.
You have a beautiful voice, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm having a panic attack right now. Don't panic.
Right there with you.
But last year I had broken my neck and I tried applying for any kind of assistance and was denied because I did not make less than $700 a month. And I'm shaking like a freaking leaf. I cannot stop.
Oh my goodness.
So
See, this is what they don't talk about enough. The charisma of Donald Trump, the compassion, how empathetic Donald Trump is being for this mother. I don't know if she's a single mother, but for this mother in the audience who has already indicated that she's had a significant health issue. Breaking your neck? Are you kidding me? I mean, by most accounts, if you talk to most doctors, there's a very high likelihood of being paralyzed if you were to ever break your neck. And Donald Trump finds something very, very quickly to compliment about this woman. And I think that is absolutely amazing.
Oh, I could not afford daycare. I obviously was having to go through physical therapy and a lot of issues, and I'm still having issues to this day.
Right, I understand.
But what kind of realistic changes that do you think you can provide single parents, married parents, any kind of parent to just simply afford children in today's world with the way things are?
Right? It is not fair.
No.
You never heard of Ivanka, right? Ivanka. My daughter drove me crazy on this. We had the simplest, most beautiful I gave you the largest tax cuts in the history of our country, okay? Larger than the Reagan cuts, larger. But my daughter, Ivanka, she said, Dad, we have to do tax credits for women, for the child tax credits. She was driving me crazy. Then I did it, and I got it just about done. Dad, you've got to double it up. I said, Ivanka, it was actually more complicated than the entire bill, but I got it done. And what we're going to do, and I'm going to make, because I understand exactly what you're saying, we're going to readjust things so that it's fair to everybody, because it's really not fair to everybody. But we have a lot. And we're going up higher, but we're also going to readjust because you have to make some readjustments. It's unfair to some people, and we're not going to have that. But she was the one that got it started. Those were our credits. Those were not the Democrat credits. A lot of Republicans said, rightfully, don't do it because we never get credit for that. We're not known for that. But the truth is, I wanted to put it all in the form of the tax cut. So I got the maximum tax cut, but we're also bringing down the taxes for companies and for people. We're bringing it down to 15%. And for companies, only if you make your product, build your product in the USA. Otherwise, you don't get it. So
Wow. And, here's the thing, guys. They have a tendency to attack Donald Trump. Kamala Harris, as a matter of fact, does it quite a bit where she ends up saying something to the effect that Donald Trump was born a millionaire. Donald Trump, we didn't have multiple millions of dollars inherited when we were growing up. So how would Donald Trump understand what the middle class is going through? And here's the thing. I heard compassion today. I heard Donald Trump sitting back, not interrupting this woman, explaining her situation, and then coming back, not telling about how he, not sharing his personal story on how he grew up middle class or how he grew up, however he grew up. What Donald Trump did was he immediately responded back without some convoluted word salad. Donald Trump responded back saying what he has done under his previous administration, influenced by Ivanka Trump, his daughter, and what he plans on doing going forward should Donald Trump become the president of the United States come this November. This is not what we're hearing from the other side. This is not what we're hearing from the other side, guys. But pay very, very close attention to what these guys are saying. Notice there wasn't some long story. We got through a good, I'm not going to play the whole women's town hall with Donald Trump that took place in Georgia here, but there were several different women standing up, voicing their opinions and expressing what they're concerned about and wanting to know what Donald Trump is going to do about it. We could not have gotten through this many people from the crowd standing up and asking questions with Kamala Harris. I mean, each response from her would probably be a good 20 minutes each. It'd be like a 2 or 3 hour show.
By the way, excuse me, it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
Your question, your name, and your hometown.
My name is Linda, and I'm from Milton, Georgia, but originally Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn!
I get that.
Good.
Yeah.
Had to get it in
My
there.
question is, how do you plan on addressing the transgender issue in women's sports? I have 9 grandchildren, 6 of them female, all playing sports, and we are very concerned for their safety, not just on the field and the courts, but in their locker rooms as well.
Right.
Wow. I can't even wrap my mind around some dude saying that they've transitioned over and now they're okay with being in the locker room with girls. Like, I'll never be okay with that. Y'all let me know if you disagree with me, but I will never, ever be okay with that.
Yeah.
Biden was up 53. Kamala, who is apparently black, she's up 41.
What do you mean by apparently?
I mean, that's what they're telling us.
To not vote is a vote. It's a vote for Donald Trump. It's to send this man one step closer to the White House, which finally, let me say, will be literally dangerous for so many of the people that we know. Dangerous, as we've demonstrated, for women. But this man, let me remind the black men who are listening, the men of color, communities of color, he will be dangerous.
So Raphael Warnock, Senator of Georgia, is warning black men, threatening black women that if Donald Trump makes it in the office, if Donald Trump becomes president of the United States for 2024, this is going to be dangerous for us, for black people in our community, for women. Can you believe this, guys? Can you believe this at this point? And this is the exact opposite of what we keep hearing, that the threats are coming from Donald Trump. But what we're seeing is that the threats are actually coming from the likes of Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia.
You are up with minority voters.
Yeah.
Vice President Kamala Harris is hurting right now in that category of voting bloc.
Right.
And they know all women are at this town hall. This is a pre-buttal from a short time ago.
So the thing is, that I find really odd and interesting at the same time is that when do you hear a pre-buttal? I have only heard rebuttals. So we've been hearing from CNN that polls are now coming out basically saying that Kamala Harris and her campaign is very worried and concerned right now. In fact, Kamala Harris's campaign is preparing their speech to explain to voters why she's losing or why Kamala Harris will lose. And so this speaks volumes that these Democrats are now coming out knowing Donald Trump's in Georgia at this women's town hall, and he's coming out, this Democratic senator is coming out and threatening essentially women and black men into voting for the Democratic Party because, according to him, Donald Trump will be dangerous and a threat to our communities and to America.
But in the election and in this country, transgender issues have become a focal point in races up and down the ballot. How many of you are worried about biological men and boys competing against women and girls in sports? Just show me. That's almost the entire, that is the entire room. And I know you have a question.
Now, personally, I'm 100% against it. I do not like the idea of men playing against women in sports. I mean, it's just not fair. It's not safe. And it's just not the way it's supposed to be. I'm just going to leave it there.
It's such an easy question, and everybody in the room, and you know that answer, we're not going to let it happen. You look, just yesterday, they had a volleyball match. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Where a person that transitioned, okay? We have to be very careful because this can terminate your political career if you say it's slightly off, all right? But transitioned from man to female and was on a volleyball. And I saw the slam. It was a slam. I never saw a ball hit so hard, hit the girl on the head. But other people, even in volleyball, they've been permanently, they've been really hurt badly, women playing men. But you don't have to do the volleyball. We stop it. We stop it. We absolutely stop it. You can't have it. It's a man playing in the game. I mean, physically, from a muscular, even if it was a little bit less, maybe they do all sorts of tests and drugs and everything else. Look at what's happened in swimming. Look at the records that are being broken.
I mean, and to add to what Donald Trump is saying, even the bone density of a man, bone density is way more dense for males than it is for females. So even if you ignore the muscle, the skeletal structure of a man is just, it's heavier pound for pound. And therefore, it's more dangerous, especially when there's contact sports being considered, or not even considered. They're doing it right now.
How do you stop it? Do you go to the sports leagues? Do you go to the Olympic
You just
councils?
ban it. The president bans it. You just don't let it happen. Not a big deal.
You have the next question. I know.
By the way, if you guys haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button for the video. Definitely subscribe to the channel. Make sure to share this video and get the word out.
So this is CNN reporting on this just 2 days ago. Okay, Barack Obama, when it comes down to black men ages 18 to 44, he was up 81 points in November of 2012. Hillary was up 63 when she went against you.
Yeah.
Biden was up 53. Kamala, who is apparently black, she's up 41.
What do you mean by apparently?
I mean, that's what they're telling us. We're supposed to believe she's black.
No,
and,
it's much better than, no. See, I would never say a thing like that. But you said, don't explain to what you mean. No, I don't want to put you in trouble.
Yeah, apparently. Well,
I was going to throw it onto your shoulders, apparently. Well, no, you could explain it because I understand.
I'm very comfortable explaining it because overnight, she's doing a show. She's supposed to be Indian. And then all of a sudden now it's black, but it's not landing with the average American. So if you look at
do you think black men, that's why she's not doing well?
Well, watch this.
Some people say that.
In 2016, you had 13% of male black voters 18 to 44. Right. In 2020, you had 18%.
Now you gotta love the math here. You cannot argue with the numbers here. So listen to Patrick Bet-David break this down. But I also like how Donald Trump, he found it funny. But the thing is he's got to play it careful because he knows that the Democrats are watching every word, every syllable that he says. So I think Donald Trump wanted to say something that I would have probably taken funny, but they would be able to spin it and ended up using against him. It was probably a chess move decision that Donald Trump decided, hey, let me hold back on what I really want to say. Let me just let Pat talk.
In 2024, you're at 26%. It's doubled in 8 years. The question I'm asking you is the following. Back in 1960, 64% of African Americans would vote Democrat. The other was pretty much conservative. African Americans have historically been very conservative.
Okay.
Barry Goldwater.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a big political guy. I didn't know black people were traditionally conservative. Comment down below. Did you guys know that black folks were traditionally more conservative versus democratic historically?
Issue happens, 1964.
Right.
It goes from 64% Democrat to 92%.
What the heck
And
happened?
it's been between 85 to 92% since 1964, right? You've come in and you've shaken things up. Do you think 2024 is going to be one of those moments where African American men, they're like, listen, I'm sick and tired of Democrats feeling like they own me. I think I'm going to go to the other side. Do you think 2024 could be one of those years that we look back and say they lost the African American vote?
They really lost it for a while, the Republicans. I mean, it started, I guess, with Barry Goldwater, if you look at the charts. But I did criminal justice reform. That's a big thing. They've been
Nobody wants to talk about that, but we going to talk about it.
trying to get it. You know, I saw a guy named Van Jones. He's I don't think anybody knows who he is. He's a commentator for CNN.
Donald Trump just took a big old dump on him. He's like, you may know him. Well, you probably don't know who he is.
He came to see me in the White House, and he was crying.
I remember that.
He was crying because I bring these things up because it's a lack of, I don't know, there's something about loyalty. You help somebody with something. He came in with a fairly large group of people.
Now, I disagree. I think that this guy is very well known. Van Jones? What do you guys think? I think Van Jones is pretty well known. I've seen him very often on CNN.
He was devastated because criminal justice reform wasn't going to happen. Obama didn't do it, and didn't even come close. Bush didn't try. Nobody was going to do it. He made a plea to me, Van Jones, total sleazebag. He made a plea to me to help him and help.
Total sleazebag.
And they explained how for years they've been trying to get it, and they've been unable to get it. And I said, well, let's take a look at it. And I studied it for a little while and spoke to them. And I said, you know what, I'm going to help you. It's going to help the black people in particular. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to get it for you guys.
Now, what has Van Jones done to Donald Trump since then? Does anybody know?
And I called up 5 very conservative senators. And I'll never forget one of the senators who was in charge of it. He was literally leading the charge against it. And I mean, his whole career was this. He was going to stop criminal justice reform.
You gotta ask yourself, why would anyone want to stop criminal justice reform when it's being said that America isn't systemically against black people, unless it's actually true?
Not because he was, anti-black, just he didn't like it. He didn't want it. And I helped him get elected. Without me, he wouldn't have gotten elected. I'll never forget it. I called him up. Now, he's in the heat of passion. He is fighting this all the way. Not something he would ever give up. He couldn't, there's some things you can't. Mm-hmm. I call him up. He gets on the phone. I didn't say a word. I said, hello. And he goes, I'm giving it to you. I said, what are you giving me? I'm giving you criminal justice reform. That's why you're calling, right? I said, it is why I'm calling. He said, you got me elected. I disagree with you, but I'm giving it to you just like that.
Wow. That's loyalty. But mainstream media would have you believe that Donald Trump hates black people, that Donald Trump is a racist. And yet we hear that after Van Jones' request, specifically to Donald Trump to help out with criminal reform, Donald Trump managed to leverage his connections, his political connections, because apparently he got this guy in office and he got this guy to sign off and move forward. I don't know, guys. What, 2 more weeks? Hit me up in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think about that. If you haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button for the video. I totally appreciate you guys. I have a ton more content that I'm going to be bringing to you guys as soon as possible. Again, if you haven't already, subscribe, share this video, check out my previous videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.